Good evening, West Coast. Good evening, East Coast and beyond. All right, let's get into this. 2 years ago, this man right here, this ex-cop in Charleston, South Carolina, Michael Slager, pled guilty in federal court today for the murder of Walter Scott, who was running from him in who Slager pulled over during a traffic stop, and as Walter Scott was running away from him, Slager then shot him in the back. Oh, he put like, I think he shot him like 4 or 5 times, if I'm not mistaken, and he didn't realize that he was being recorded by a cell phone who happened to see the whole thing. And Slager was also trying to incriminate Scott by planting evidence on him, trying to say that, but by trying to plant at the scene a gun and other things. And last year, the jury couldn't come up with a verdict to get him on state charges of murder, which I knew that was going to happen. But let's roll the clip.
The former South Carolina police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black driver in 2015 has pleaded guilty to federal civil rights charges. Michael Slager entered the guilty plea in federal court in Charleston Tuesday, a little more than 2 years after he was caught on camera shooting Walter Scott several times as he ran away. Slager pulled Scott over for a broken taillight. Scott tried to run away on foot, and Slager followed him, eventually pulling out his gun and shooting him in the back. Along with the civil rights charges, Slager was also facing a state murder charge in connection with the incident. But his first murder trial ended in a mistrial last year because the jury couldn't reach a unanimous verdict. As part of a plea agreement, South Carolina dropped that pending murder charge, and the federal government dropped 2 other charges. The maximum sentence for the civil rights violation is life in prison.
50-year-old Walter Scott died at the scene, which a little over 2 years ago, April of 2015. He died from the gunshot wounds from Officer Slager. And I guess at the time, when he was doing a check to see if he had any warrants, and I guess he had a warrant out for, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was child support or something like that. And you got people in there, well, he was a deadbeat dad. He had a warrant out for his arrest for child support. I mean, really? Was that for a Slager to kill him? Or because he had a warrant out for child support? No. If he's running, if a person is running from you, they're not a threat to you. So you can't really shoot them. The only way you can shoot them if they had a weapon as they're running away. That's the only way you can shoot them. He had no weapons on him, and Slager tried to put all kind of incriminated evidence on this man to make it justifiable for him to shoot this man. I don't care if he had a warrant out for child support. Doesn't give him the right to shoot the man. Could have tased him. He didn't have to shoot him. He didn't have to shoot to kill. But Slager, he only, how can I say this? He only pled guilty. He only pled guilty, so he can get less time. So he might find him guilty of manslaughter or something like that, because he know if he would have took this all the way through the federal court system, he would have lost, and he probably would have got even more time. So he took the easy way out by just pleading guilty. And especially when they was already had it on video phone on what he did. So I don't understand why the state couldn't prosecute him, why the jury couldn't come to a verdict. Didn't understand that one. But I just hope that justice will be served, which I pretty much knew that the state probably was going to clear him or can't reach a verdict, which I pretty much knew that because the state usually don't prosecute cops when they when they kill people. They usually don't. It usually has to go through the federal court system, and that's what happened with this situation. My condolences to the Scott family, and I hope they sue the pants off the police department in Charleston. Hope they do, if they didn't already. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channels. Don't forget to donate to my cause. You can go on patreon.com, type in my name, Perry Dunham, PerryDunham, and donate wherever you can. And I'm out.